A beloved teacher gunned down in a mysterious murder case in Florida. In a moment, the victim's wife and daughter will speak out in an exclusive live interview. But first, NBC's Lilia Luciano is at the scene of the crime with details. Good morning to you, Lilia.
Good morning, Meredith. Well, this peaceful community was just shaken to its core 2 weeks ago when a very popular teacher was tragically murdered in his own home. Now his friends and family search for answers to this very shocking death. Kenneth Ellis was living a full life. A father of 6 and grandfather to 17, the 61-year-old high school history teacher was also a trained martial arts instructor.
He changed so many lives, people, students, adults.
Just 2 years ago, Kenneth married his soulmate, Ella, but their love story came to an abrupt end earlier this month when they heard a knock on the door of their Northport, Florida home at 10 o'clock at night.
We opened the door, sort of look around. He was in front of me, and he closed the door, and we stepped back.
That's when Ella says 2 masked men dressed in black pushed the door open and shot Kenneth execution style.
There were 2 shots, and my husband was collapsing.
The final words Kenneth uttered, "Call 911." That's when Ella bolted to the nearest phone.
This is just unbelievable. I still have this picture of him laying on that floor and grasping for air. And me calling to the dispatcher, please call, come back, please call as fast as, come back, come here as fast as possible. Because we might lose him. But I hoped we wouldn't, but he died.
Kenneth was rushed to the hospital, but was pronounced dead on arrival. Neighbors say they saw the killers fleeing the scene in a dark 4-door sedan. 2 weeks later, there's still no explanation. Police say they have no suspects, but are investigating more than 80 leads.
We don't know if he was targeted. We don't know if this was a random act or a case of mistaken identity.
According to published reports, police took into evidence more than 50 items from the home, including receipt books, empty prescription bottles, and a laptop, searching for clues in Kenneth's rich life that may have led to his untimely death.
He was a teacher, but he was like a father.
At Manatee School for the Arts, where Kenneth taught for the past 13 years, students and colleagues mourn the man they knew as Master Ellis, someone they remember as a gentle soul and a great teacher.
He said, the kids have to know that you love them, and he made sure that they did. And they did love him very much.
At this point, police are still conducting interviews, and they say that everyone from his family to students to friends is a potential suspect, Meredith. And as you can imagine, that just makes the healing process for his loved ones so much harder. Back to you.
Lilia Luciano, thank you very much. Ellis's wife, Ella, and his daughter, Debbie, are with us exclusively. Good morning to both of you, and please accept our condolences. I would appreciate you being here this morning. Ella, if I could talk to you first, what are police telling you right now about the state of the investigation at this point?
There are many leads, but nothing, it's resolved. This is still a mystery, and we are really worrying. This is not safe, and we want to closure. We want to know what's behind this insanity, why such a wonderful, loving man could be killed in such a horrific situation. It's just incomprehensible for me, completely.
Your husband was shot and killed on March 29th. The two of you were home,
yes,
watching television, ordinary night.
Yes.
He fell asleep, started nodding off. You went off to the computer room to do some work.
Yes.
The doorbell rang.
Yes.
You both went to the door?
Yes.
Opened it.
First he went himself and says, this is weird, nobody's there when he opened the door.
And then he closed the door.
Joined him and said, let's check it out. We opened the door again and closed the door. There was split seconds, and then we watched at each other what's going on. It's a neighbor, and in this moment the door got opened, and I saw these 2 masked men wearing black wardrobe, and in split seconds they extended their hand and shoot my husband.
Did both have guns?
I didn't see that. It was just few seconds, no words, nothing, like execution style. And
at no point pointed a gun at you. I mean, you're witnessing all of this.
Yes, I didn't notice. I was so scared that I screamed the way that neighborhood was actually, the neighbors heard that, but I don't remember. And I found myself jumping to that computer room back, which is close to the entryway, and seeing my husband collapsing and saying, "Call police."
The police say that it's possible that this was a random act, but more likely they think he was targeted. Had he had any issues with any of his students, maybe a business associate, anybody, family member? Had he talked about anybody with whom he was having problems?
We are trying to think and figure out what could be behind this, because he didn't have enemies. He was loved by everybody. He was walking peace. He was actually having EFT counselings for people, helping them with their lives. And this is, for me, I cannot understand this at all. Maybe some connection with his website, which was supposed to be launched soon, was launched partially, but the biggest part, which was a more business part, was going to be launched in the end of April. Maybe he was disciplinarian, but he was a loving person also. So I don't think that any student can target his life.
I have to ask you, you took a polygraph, you told our producer, and you said that afterwards the police had cleared you, and yet very clearly in that piece that we just heard, police are saying that everybody is a suspect here. So it seems there's still a cloud of suspicion over you.
I know, and it's so hard because, you know, I lost my beloved husband, and I was in this horrific incident. I felt, and I'm a victim in this situation, and grieving process is so much harder for me than I, you know, still on the list of suspects, even though I did the polygraph test, even though my computer was checked throughout, all my records are taken from the house, which makes my life completely difficult. I'm like suspended on hold with my life, on top of that fact that I lost my husband.
Debbie, your dad has 6 children. You're one of them. I can only imagine what the pain that you're going through right now. His students apparently loved him very much. Students at the school, they put up a wall of letters to him saying just that. I want to read one that was written by a young girl named Blossom to your dad, who was called Master Ellis by the kids. "I loved being in your class. I never knew how much your wisdom meant to me. The principles you taught us have enriched my life. You will be dearly missed." What do those words mean to you and to your siblings?
When we went and saw the wall, we were so touched by the impact that he had made. He was a father to many of those students as well, a father figure to them, and he was passionate and happy about that. And so we're grateful as his children that we had a direct relationship with him and that we were able to have that love, but also that he was able to share that with other children who needed that in their lives.
Can you make any sense out of any of this?
No, you know, sometimes it feels just completely unrealistic, and then other times it's just so horribly real. And of course, sometimes you just think over it and you try to make sense and you try to figure it out, and you just come back to the same square over and over again.
Well, again, we're so sorry for your loss, Debbie. I appreciate you being here. Thank you so much as well. And if you have any information about this case, please call Crime Stoppers of Sarasota County at 941-366-TIPS, TIPS. Ken's school has also set up a reward fund that you can donate to by going to our website today.com.